What's up out there? Welcome back to more Melvor Idle Adventure mode, and this is episode 3. Now, I've spent a bit of time over the last couple of days thieving up and getting a bunch of gold saved up. I thought about making a video yesterday, and I thought, nah, it's just not a whole lot to show. I'll worry about it today when there's more to deal with. And I've had enough money saved up to buy a few things. So I got Auto Eat Tier 1, and then I used that for a little while to do some heavier thieving. Like I was going into some of the people that would do more damage, like the Golbans and maybe the bandit thugs and stuff like that. I pushed into thieving a little bit further than I would have, just to unlock a few things, get a few of the tasks done, because you can get like for one of the tasks, you need an assortment of arrows. So I spent some time with the bandit thug for that. And I made sure to go in and get the jeweled necklace, the sneakers, and the Chapeau Noir are done. And then I went into the woman to get the fine coin purse. And let's see, the Golban, I worked on him for a little while to get some of the goodies that he's got. The Golban Chief, I've been working on him because I want to get the hat that he's got, but I haven't got that yet. And then some of the other stuff I kind of poked into just a brief moment, like the lumberjack I needed to get a redwood log out of. So, spent some time with Auto Eat Tier 1, and then I ended up saving up more money and bought Auto Eat Tier 2, so I've got both of those. So now my auto heal actually kicks in at 1650. So that became important because I started going into the spider forest, and the spider does like 1300 damage or something with the gear that I have now. It was like a 1300 damage hit. So the auto eat was far enough that I could just let it go for a little bit. In about an hour or so, I got this Amulet of Looting today, so that's done. Let's see. You'll notice the character name is Witwix. That's because I went through, however useful this thing is. Where do I have it? What did I do with that thing? Put it over here. So there's this Amulet of Calculated Promotion. This thing doesn't have any damage reduction, but it's got a few bonuses on it, and I had this when I did that grind for the other thing, and this is something I'll probably use. So basically the way to get this, if you're not familiar with it, is to go into the wet forest, kill leeches until you get this chest of Witwix, and then you have to rename your character, and I just haven't changed it since. Once you rename your character, you open that chest, and then you get that Amulet of Calculated Promotion. So I've got that done. Yesterday I spent a lot of quality time on Township, and I've got that up right at the combat level that I was yesterday when I did this, and I've ticked it a few times. I have a trader, but I can't trade anything out because I haven't unlocked anything yet. I still have thousands and thousands of these things to go before I can actually get anything, which I'm kind of surprised. I guess I'm kind of surprised I don't have the wood, unless it kicks in after you open this up. I don't know. Maybe this kicks in once you've unlocked the trader, because I'm pretty sure I've had a lot of normal logs by now. Had to have had more than 1,000. But anyway, doesn't matter. Still waiting on this. I think level 62 is pretty respectable for this at this moment. And I've gone hard into, let's see, where did I put that at? The valley? Yeah. So I've got 30 town halls up. I'm raking in 15,000 per tick. So we're going to definitely bump that up. The dead storage is ridiculous. So there's 3,000 dead people sitting there, and just, I don't know how many are waiting to get in there, but I have done nothing for their happiness. Like, happiness is tanked. I'm only getting 832 XP per tick, but it seems to be doing fairly well. Now I know once it gets further, it's going to slow down a lot, and we may need to burn this town off and start over, but at least it's got something here. I am purposely just going to leave this sit like this for now, because once I do unlock the trader, I'll be able to get stuff out, or once I do get enough stuff to unlock some of these things, I'll be able to get stuff out of here. So that'll be kind of nice. So I'm just going to let it sit here for a minute. I don't really need anything. I was kind of looking at the Township. I totally forgot about this, but with Township now, we have, once you hit level 16, you get these mouse cats up, you get the Township Happiness, Global Gold XP, or Global Gold, I'm sorry, not Global XP, but Global Gold. This is going to be huge, but that's level 80. But then there's a chance to double items globally. What else was I looking at? These cool rocks down here. Mining node hit points will be cool. Mining stuff, a lot of mining. Global evasion, global mastery. And then, let's see. Yeah, top hat would be kind of cool. But these are really high level, a lot higher level than I'm at now. So eventually we'll get there. Not too worried about those now, but I got to keep those in mind that these exist. So let's see here. Got the Spider Demon, the Auto Eat, the Amulet of Promo. Did a lot of thieving. Clue Chasers insignia. I do have a couple of Clue Chasers insignias. And the way to create these, did I keep the formula? No, I did not. So you have to get certain items in a row, and that's why I had to go into some parts of the thieving. So at the level that I'm at now, I know you need a redwood log. I can't remember the whole recipe to it, but I had to go in there for that. I had to get the swordfish from here. I think I had to get, well, you needed herrings, I think. Not raw herrings, but herrings. But there's a formula. And the way it used to work is you had to have a certain specific number of each item, like 42 and 8 and 6 and something like that. Like it was a specific number. And now I was looking at the wiki today. All you have to do is have all the items in the correct order, and that's it. So you can only get one at a time. And if you're wondering how I have two, it's because if you equip one, you can just move things over and move things back and get a second one. So I've got two. In case we need it for some reason. Sometimes it's beneficial to have one. They're not good for combat at all. They're only good for non-combat, but they help you find stuff in Bird's Nest and mastery tokens and stuff like that. So they're good to have on while you're skilling. And I'm glad I thought about that for a second, because they'll be useful once we get into all this stuff down here. So I unlocked ranged and prayer, and I have level 20 in prayer. I have level 7 in ranged. I went ahead and got the slingshot because it uses no ammo, and I leveled up to be able to use that. So here we go with the plan. That is where we are currently. I'm doing fairly well with thieving. I'm doing well with Township. I'm pleased with everything. I've turned in a bunch of Township tasks. What do we got here? 10 of these are done. 1 of these is done. So, blazing along, I'm doing fairly well. As I was thinking about how this character was going to go, one of the things that I did on my previous adventure account was focus more on the non-combat skilling and getting stuff unlocked first. And I think I don't want to do that this time. I was thinking about this. You can get through if you can get into, who's got that stuff? Or does anybody? I can't remember. There might be somebody in here. If not, there is definitely the volcanic cave. If you can get this dragon gear. So there's the plate legs and plate body there, or the ancient stuff, which the ancient stuff's probably going to be a better thing to get. But if you get this stuff here, and you can get, say, the paladin gloves, or maybe the black dragon van braces upgraded and things like that. So if you can get this gear here out of the volcanic cave, maybe the sword from the deep sea ship, or the claws or something like that. Let's say we get some of that stuff. You're going to get a cape in here that gives you damage reduction. If you grind this out, spend some quality time with it, you're going to get some good gear. You can take that gear and go into the Air God dungeon, start getting gear out of that. It's ranged gear, but the damage reduction is what applies more than the actual ranged bonuses. So you get the gear out of this thing, upgrade as much of that gear from the volcano as you can. You can easily take fully upgraded dragon gear, because I've done this. You can take fully upgraded dragon gear through the Air God, Water God, and Earth God. So we can go clear 3 dungeons, and then I unlocked ranged, because ranged has to do the Fire God. You cannot, I don't think you can do the Fire God at this gear level with melee. Now you might be able to do it later with better gear, but at this stage of the game, I don't think so. So my first goal, because I really, really, really want this passive slot, that is going to help out tremendously with a lot of things. So the first goal, instead of worrying about starting at the bottom and going to the top, what I did is I figured out I want to go up here, and what do I need to get to that point right there? Into the Mist. We have to beat Into the Mist. So to do that, we are going to need ranged magic, prayer, slayer, all that kind of thing. We're going to need all the combat stuff unlocked. So that's going to be the first thing to do. Definitely getting ranged, because that gets us through the Fire God dungeon. So as long as we can manually run all those dungeons, the 4 God dungeons, we can then set up for Into the Mist. So that is going to be the goal. And that's what I've basically laid down on here, is to go backwards. I want to go Into the Mist for the passive slot here. Then I need ranged to clear the Fire God dungeon. So I need ranged at about 70, 75, 80, somewhere in there. Melee through the Earth God dungeon. I did try melee through the Fire God at one point, and it didn't work real well. But we're going to need at least dragon gear and the silver and gold to upgrade it. So that means a lot of thieving. I'm not going to worry about opening up like mining and smithing and stuff like that. To facilitate thieving, I probably need to get 45 slayers so I can get the gloves of silence. I can buy gloves, but you have to pay for them. I'd like to get the gloves earlier, so I want to work towards that. And 30 slayer for the pally gloves. And then the undead graveyard for the bone necklace, because if I'm going to sit here and idle this stuff, like these cows and stuff that I'm doing now, there's the necklace that's in the there's this necklace here, this bone necklace. Once you get that thing, it auto buries bones. So you just put it in here. Again, with a passive slot, it would be great. Somewhere along the line, I do want to open up herb lore. So probably the next 2 skills will probably be magic and herb lore. I was kind of kicking around the idea of astrology, because there's some good benefits in astrology that can help out, but I don't know that that weighs heavily enough to Into the Mist. You know what I mean? Because then you got to unlock it and work it up. And yeah, those bonuses are good. Same thing with agility. Agility, summoning, and astrology all have good bonuses, but you're starting to creep up into the several millions to upgrade, and I need to be in a place to do that. So that's the basic plan. I want to get to Into the Mist. That's where my goal is going to be, is to get down to that. And working my way backwards, I figured, well, I need to get up to probably level 70, 65, 70 to clear the volcano. Then once I can idle the volcano, I need to secure a food source and stuff like that. So do I want to open up fishing? I don't know. That's a lot of work to do. I can thieve up pretty much everything I need, especially from like the fisherman here. He drops all kinds of stuff, or the chef. He drops a lot of food, sharks and stuff. I can just sit here and idle this for lobster and soups and whatever. So I'm not too concerned about the food part. This also levels up the skill. It does a lot of things here. The other thing I was thinking about is, even if I'm capped at a combat level, 65, 80, 90, 100, whatever that combat level is, the combat level prevents you from leveling up the skill, but it does not prevent you from leveling up the mastery pool or the mastery for each NPC. So what I'm getting at is, if I can get, say, Slayer level up a little bit to where I can get the Paladin, or I need to get level 40 Slayer. So if I can get those, the Gloves of Silence from the Thief, that means it gives me a little bit more success rate to use. Or, I can buy gloves, but it's going to cost money. It costs a pretty chunk of change, and I don't have that right now. But I could work on Slayer, which works on Slayer, and whatever combat I'm working on. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things I could do there. I could sit, I'm basically getting food right now, because I would like to go in and start maybe idling statues for gold and silver. We can do mummies for the rings and stuff like that. I mean, there's plenty of different things that can go on. So pretty much, if I could get combat up to a point where I'm pleased with it, I can divert off to thieving. And even if I'm thieving more than I can get, because I'm capped at that combat level, I could still work at the mastery pool. The key with the mastery pool is, once you hit 50%, you get a 100% increase in gold. So this would be really well worth my time to spend thieving and build that up. At 95%, which is a long way off, that's 70-some% off, or 60-some% off, it adds 100 thieving stealth, and the chance to gain the area, blah, blah, comes up. So 100 stealth is huge. That would boost a lot of these up from 35 to whatever. It'd go up to 60, maybe 50, something like that. I don't know, whatever. It's a nice bump. So if we can focus in on that and get thieving up to a point, but I don't want to just park on thieving right now. I know I need the money, but I'm doing fairly well with the way I'm at. So I'm going to push into combat level, especially since I now have the amulet of looting, because this thing's going to give me bones, and I can start working on not a whole lot, but I can start working on prayers. I can spend more time with prayers, especially when we start killing the bigger stuff that gives big bones, magic bones, things that give a lot more. The other thing too is that I was looking at is once you can get into the trolls, some of the things that they drop are boxes of bones, which gives you like dragon bones, magic bones, stuff like that. That all goes fairly well. I kind of want to unlock magic now too, and magic might be the very next thing I unlock, because some of the alt magic that you can do lets you like turn items into money, and you can get the urns and stuff like that. So I mean, some of that stuff's going to be pretty nice. So that is kind of where I'm at right now, and that's kind of what I was thinking about. So in the near term, it's going to be just looking at what I need to do to get into the mist sooner. And that's where we are, is thieving and combat pretty much. Probably working on all the different combat stuff to get that leveled up as high as possible. If I can get prayer built up fairly quickly, that'll raise the combat level up pretty significantly. I think I'd probably go up a few levels if I raise prayer up. Working on ranged, it would take a while because you have to get ranged up to and beyond what defense, hit points, and prayer is, to make it effective. So I'm not terribly concerned with it at the moment. I think I'm going to work on the non-combat stuff, or the the melee. That's the word I'm looking for, the melee. So I'm going to work on the melee stuff for the time being, because that'll get me the gear in the volcanic cave. Ranged, I just need to worry about ranged once I get through the air god dungeon. Then I can level up or gear up out of the air god dungeon so I could go through the fire god dungeon. So long story short, that's where we are, and that's where we are headed. So that's going to be the goals. I don't foresee myself unlocking hardly any of this other stuff in the time being, unless I get just tremendous amounts of gold coming in. But I don't know. We'll see. That will do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.